Hello friends, and welcome to the replay of today's live. Today we have so much happening between a layout that I'm going to create, and we are popping over right now, so I'll re-intro here in a second. Hey friends! Hi! Good afternoon! Today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday today, right? Yes. And I'm excited to be here with you. We have a lot to do today. And so our live is probably going to be a bit longer than the normal 20 to 30 minutes because we're going to be working on a scrapbook layout, which won't take us too long. And then we're going to do a live craft room tour so I can show you guys my room before we move and everything changes. So hello, hi, Michelle and Judy and Yessie. Still the morning for you. Yeah, you're over on the other side of the country. Here it's 1 o'clock here, so it is, yeah, after lunch. Got some coffee to get me going. Hey you guys, hey Robin and Janine and Tammy. How's everybody doing today? All right, so I'm gonna keep my this portion fairly short because we got a lot to do. So today my story that I'm going to be completing is going to be in a 12 by 12 format, and I am titling it Before and After. And this is the one that I'm going to use this really large wooden ampersand on. And I just realized I forgot to get my stamp chamois wet. I might run upstairs really fast and go get one of these wet so I have something to clean my stamps with. But we're going to do this layout. It's not going to take me very long. It's the before and afters of our haircuts. And then once we have that complete, I'm going to finagle you guys around my room here so I can show you what everything looks like, how I've got things set up, and then go over any specific categories of products that you want to see my storage solutions for in this like really small craft space that I have here in the basement. So, yay! Hey friends! I see a couple of you guys on lunch. Robin and Libby, you guys are lunch friends. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to run upstairs and go get this thing wet because I'm going to use my large alpha stamp, and I want to be able to clean it. So let me go get this done real quick. I'm going to let you guys just stare at my back wall here for a minute, and then I'll be back and we'll get you flipped around. Yay, no time at all. Okay, so now we can stamp and clean things. All right, so let's get you guys moved around so you can see my desk, and we're gonna get going. So here we go. Sorry for, you know, the shakes. We're so close to me being able to have two cameras. So close. Make sure everything looks okay here. All right, so we are looking good. Whew. Has anyone worked on the ampersand kit yet? Yeah, I would be curious to know, Judy, as well. Has anybody been making any projects with this kit yet? And if you have, what stories have you guys told this month or this week or all of those things? Are these all the, nope, that's a before. After, no, yeah, that's an after. After, before, after. Okay, so for this one, I'm using a textured piece of white cardstock, and I'm just going to trim off the branding piece. So we'll get that off of here first, and then the rest of this is going to come together pretty simply. The hardest part is going to be the stamping, or the longest part, I should say, is going to be the stamping. So let's get this done. This is my second to last project for the ampersand kit. I have one more, which I just got all my pictures done and journaling done yesterday. Normally I'll back up to go forward. Normally, when I am working with these kits, with Story Kit Crush, I will spend a day planning. In the planning session, which you guys see the sped up version, the planning session takes me roughly an hour to 2 hours. And then once I have that done, the next thing I do is to sit down at my computer and either, well, typically what I do is I have everything digitally as well. So I throw it into a file and then I design it inside of Photoshop. So I like create the layout in Photoshop with areas for the photos and for the journaling. That way I can make sure everything fits. Once I have that done, then the next thing I do is to find the pictures that I want to help me tell the story. And then I will also type out all of my journaling and get all of that part done. So then all I have to do is print everything out. So everything's all printed and then put in envelopes ready to go. And then it's just a matter of putting it all together. So I had one project. So the reason I tell you all of that is because I have one project that I did not do that for, that I designed it on inside of Photoshop, but then I left it at that because it's actually to document Isabella's first day of school, which was yesterday. So I got the picture print, or it's not printed, but it's ready to go. I got the picture edited, ready to go, and my journaling done for the day, and that will be my official last ampersand project, which I will probably put together early next week. And then then that will be everything. All the projects done. Sorry, I just want to get these kind of positioned right. This is always a trick I have if I forget. Like what I could have done is I could have printed the squares on here like I usually do, so that I wouldn't have to try and eyeball this, but I didn't think about that. So instead, I am just adding a little bit of adhesive into the very middle and then sticking it down, and then I can reposition it if I need to, because the entire thing is not, you know, put together yet. So, yes, that is that. I'm gonna see, I've done one using your timeline. Yeah, that is such a good one. Judy, did you share that one? I can't remember if I saw a picture of it shared. I think maybe you did, if I remember right. But that one was a fun one to do, like a timeline type of thing. Yeah, week in the life. Oh yeah, week in the life. I still gotta do my week in the life. I'm gonna do it in the spring. that's my decision. Yes. Oh yeah, Barbara, we did start early. So the whole school thing's just been really sarcastically fun so far this year. But today is the second day of school and it's her first full day. So I'm excited to hear how the whole, the full day goes. All right, so this is gonna be, let me get all these letters out here. B4, B-E-F-O-R-E. Where's the F? Right there. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I do want to do the big ones. O-R-E. So we're gonna do before and after. A-F-T-E-R. Okay, that'll give me all the letters I need. I think what I'll do is maybe, see, F goes in the middle. So maybe we'll go, and I'll just stamp it. We'll just do it. This fit on there? Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna go for this. All right. Yeah, you should. I would love to see it. I would love to see how your project turned out with it. So fun. I feel like, what do I have to tell you guys that's happened? So yesterday was a big day. We talked about it a little bit during the day, but if you guys weren't in the live yesterday or haven't seen on whatever, Instagram. Yesterday was Izzy's first day of school, first day of public school, first day of first grade, all those things. And it went pretty well. So in Michigan here, which is where we live, there is like, well, I guess really in the entire country, there is the great, you know, battle of mask versus non-mask in schools. And we are in the mask, the mask side for sure. So we had originally had Isabella signed up, enrolled in a school that will be across the street from where we're going to move to. Like literally across the street. And we were excited about it. It's a charter school. There's a T, there's an F in the next one. We were really excited about it. And then when we were getting closer to school starting and with all of the Delta variant happening, it was real nerve-wracking about, you know, what is our school going to do? What's going to happen? So the school met, like they had a board meeting, and they decided to not mandate masks. Where do I want to put this E? Maybe like here. So there's going to be no masks at the school. And so then I emailed them to say, you know, like, okay, well, you know, that we're not very comfortable with that. So are you going to offer a virtual option? Can we do virtual school until things settle down? And the answer to that was no, that there's going to be no masking, no social distancing, no virtual option. So, so we were kind of like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do this year? Because like, am I going to homeschool again? Because I just don't feel comfortable. I just don't feel comfortable with that. So, about a day later, after we found out the news, the county, because we're essentially moving counties as well as moving towns, which is like, we're crossing like a line. Like where we live, if you drive just a little bit further down, you're in a different county. So the county that we currently live in, our health department mandated masks for K through 6 until, you know, X amount of time after a vaccine is made available for all ages. So we disenrolled her from the school that she was going to go to, and then immediately enrolled her in the school district that we currently live in. And she started a week later, which was nuts. So it all happened very, very, very fast. And we're happy so far with that decision. It's been a good decision. And now the school that she was going to go to, their county also did a mandate, but we're not gonna move her because it's already, oh, I need another E. I do know how to spell, I promise. So it's just been, you know, it's been a whole thing. But she's in. Oops, sorry, I got my head. I felt the phone. So that's been like the school thing lately, and drama, you know, just lots of drama. And then so yesterday was her first day. It went really well. She loves her teacher. She loves school. I'm really excited about it. And Jonah is now like home with us by himself, and he just keeps begging to go to school, which is cute and also like really sad. Like, sorry, buddy, you know, F-T-E-R, T is in the middle. We're like, eventually you'll go to school, you know. And then after her school day, which was only a half day yesterday, we went and signed the papers for our new house, which is super exciting. It finally happened. And that was a whole bunch of drama. It's been a crazy summer. A-F-F-T-E-R. So, you know, just like, it's just wild. I just wish things could settle down and go back to feeling normal again. Oh, you're right. I did do that upside down. Oh, well. I wonder. Yeah. It's okay. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. And then we found out yesterday because the people who were buying their house have a 30-day occupancy. So they are able to be there until almost the end of September. But we were hoping, because everything's been delayed so much on all of the stuff, we were hoping that they'd be able to leave earlier than that so we could move earlier. But nothing, absolutely nothing has been going our way. So we're like, we really hope, but it's not going to happen. Like, just knowing our luck, it's not going to happen. And we found out last night that their plan is to move out in 2 weeks, which means it's time to get packing. So I'm glad we're doing this today because I'm going to have to start packing things up. It's going to be crazy, friends. Crazy. All the things, right? Okay, so we got before and after. And then we just need to stick some stuff down. So this one's pretty easy, this layout. But that makes it fun too, right? Quick, easy, and fun. All right, so let's put all these guys on here. I'm gonna have to figure out how to move my my office because I'm definitely not moving my computer and stuff until I've got, like, I can immediately bring it over and immediately set it up because I need that thing, you know? And I have a desktop. I don't use a laptop. So, you know, we gotta have a whole process to how we're gonna handle that. Okay, so I don't need this. All right, so let's get everything officially stuck down. And I also am going to add, I have this chipboard set, which is an older chipboard set, and I want to put these arrows like above and below. Oh, I can pop them out. So I want to put one there and the other one there. So it'll be like before and after. Okay. Also, because I knew I wanted to add some journaling to this page, but I knew that there wasn't going to be like a ton of room for it, I did just add it on the photos before I printed them. So the journaling's printed directly onto the photos. It made things easier. All right. So let's get all this on here. I think tomorrow is going to be kind of a weird day because the thing is yesterday Izzy went to school, but she only went for like 3 hours. And then we had, you know, the signing, and it just kind of felt like a weekend day. Like it felt very, very busy. Whereas, and then today, Jonah is over at my mom's house because he and Izzy used to spend Wednesdays with my mom, and now it'll just be Jonah. So he's over there with my mom. She's picking Izzy up from school today, so they get, you know, a couple hours together still on Wednesdays. And then tomorrow is going to be the first day where it's just me and Jonah and no Izzy. So like it hasn't felt super weird yet, but I think tomorrow it's going to feel super weird. But we'll get to pack and do stuff like that. So really nothing is going to feel normal for a really long time. But that's okay. That is life. That is definitely 2021. Is the lack of normal. Okay, so then we're going to I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down too. Oh, Janine, see, that's so interesting that they had to go virtual because, yeah, and we're still kind of nervous that that's going to happen here too. Even with all the mandates, you know, it's still very likely to happen. But hopefully, the hope is that having things set in place will allow it to not. It'll allow them to actually stay in school and not have to come back home. So we'll see. We shall see what happens. All right, so let's take all this off here. I have not, wait, have you shared any pics of her yet? He hasn't. You can tell them why, Caleb. And Caleb, I saw your comment. I'm glad you're here, and you give that baby a squeeze for me. I know, I cannot wait to see all of the ways you're going to document her. Precious babies. All right, and then almost there. Okay, so let's get this stuck down here. And then I just gotta stick down the other photos, and this is done. Before and do I have you on here straight? Straight enough. Right? Okay, there's that. We'll stick these on here. Actually, Caleb, you're holding a baby. I can tell, because I asked him the same thing. I was like, where's your baby pictures? And Caleb told me that the whole family hasn't met her yet, so when the whole family finally meets her, after that he'll be able to share more online, which makes total sense. Yes. Oh no, Elizabeth. Oh, I'm so sorry for your son. I hope he's doing okay. That is like, oh, it's just the worst. Like, good Lord. Like, this is not what government exists for, is to help keep us safe? Like, come on. Who knows? He's better now. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's like the worst. That's our worst nightmare. It's every parent's worst nightmare, I think. It's for their kids to get it. So I'm glad he's doing better. Yeah, wow. Okay, so 2 more pictures and then we're done with this. These were so fun to take. So as many of you know, Erin and the kids and I did not get our hair done for like a year and a half. Mine just turns, you know, brown and gray and yuck, because I'm getting older. And the kids they had just long, beautiful hair, but long. And then Erin had his super long. So then when we went and got our hair cut, it was like a drastic makeover for all of us. And we just had a ton of fun taking our pictures before we went. And then we all went together to get our hair done. We all have the same hairdresser. And then came home and took after pictures. It was really fun. So this is my layout, which is pretty simple. And I should date stamp this because, you know, which I was just working in my other book. It's still August. Today is what, the 25th? Yeah. Yes, because it's color cast design day. All right, so let me date stamp you. And we'll call this guy done. So I'm just gonna leave the middle spots pretty plain. I feel like it doesn't really need much of anything else in here. And then all I said was, and I probably could have, well, I couldn't have done a 9x12 because it would have cut off too much of the photos. But so my journaling, I've got like before and after, right? So I've got Aaron decided to let his hair grow out as much as it would. It got all the way down past his shoulders. Aaron got tired of the long hair, so he chopped it off and left a little length on top. It looks great. I got my hair done over a year ago. So much of it has grown out, leaving it dark with a ton of gray. Feeling back to myself with my hair highlighted blonde again. I love the style of the cut with the side bang. Isabella has fine hair. Because of that, her hair tends to get tangled up in the back of her head a lot. Izzy decided she wanted a bob. Her hair is adorable and is a little bit easier to manage. She looks so grown up. Jonah has never had a haircut before. He was supporting the baby curls and beautifully colored hair. We kept his hair a bit on the longer side. It left him with a surfer type look, and I'm obsessed with it. So that's just, you know, hair before and after story, makeovers, yay. So let me set this to the side because I will take, actually I'm just gonna leave it here because I'm gonna take some photos of it after we're done. And then let me figure out the best way to get you guys situated so we can check out the craft room. I'm gonna grab a swig of my coffee and then see how I'm gonna put you around. Okay, so I'm gonna move these, move this out of the way. And then I'm gonna grab you. So it's gonna be a little shaky because I'm going to move you from one camera stand to a different camera stand. So just FYI, I'm gonna do that right now. And let me, this is the top. Okay. So I'm gonna stick you over here. Oops, come on. There we go. Okay, and let me see what you see. All right, hello. So you are currently on, sorry, I'm gonna move you just slightly. You are currently on a ring light. So hopefully you can see well enough back here. This is my craft area, yay. And in fact, let me do this so you can see even better and I can see a little bit too. Okay, so if we move back even further, you can see how this works. So, can you see my hand? Yes. So over there is Aaron's desk, and I just moved that stuff over there for a second. That's where he typically works. Over here is my desk where I do my computer work. This is the wardrobe that I always talk about, and we'll open that up here in a second. And then that's where everything else is located, is back in there. So it's just like this nook area of our basement. Okay, so let me move you closer again. Oh, I'm so sorry, it's all so shaky. There's not much I can do about it. Okay, so we'll pause here and I'll show you all the things. So I craft at, oh, thank you. You like my shirt? This is from Victoria's Secret from like when I was a teenager. Isn't that funny? Okay, so this is where I primarily do, can you guys hear me okay? Because my phone's like far away from me, so you might not hear me as well anymore. I craft standing up. That is a question I get all the time, is if I craft at a sitting table or a standing table. I prefer to stand because I feel like I have more control over my body when I'm working on the table. Oh good, you can hear me, great. So I currently use a folding camping table as my desk. If I were to move like my stuff off, here's you guys, hi guys. So if I moved this off here, it's literally a camping table underneath. To help keep my screen nice and white for you, I have a foam core board that just lays right on top of my table. So that kind of helps to, so you don't see the speckles of my table, and then also keeps things nice and bright and white. So that is generally my table. Now because I'm working on a craft or a camping table, which is a 2x4, I can actually fit 2 rolling carts underneath. So underneath my table here, I have 2 carts. And those are not super old. Like they're fairly new additions to this room. And then behind me, I have a ton of cube storage. So inside of my cube storage is generally where all of my albums are, whether they are completed or in progress. And then I also have my typewriter here on top, which I do use occasionally. I tend to use the computer a lot more for that kind of stuff, but I do still use the typewriter occasionally. I have all of my ink storage up here on top, which I'll show you a closer look at that here in a minute. And then I have them tiered for now. This is actually something that will change in my next space. I'm going to get 2 at this height and use these ones in other places. But so all of this is albums. And then in these little 2, which I have 2 here, you can see the top part of it. I have my sewing machine, my projects to work on next, and then a lot of my paper storage is actually right there. So let me bring you guys a little closer and we'll look at some things. This is just going to be like a totally shaky video the whole time, so apologize for that. So let's come closer and we'll take a look. Let's look at the storage up here first. So let me get you situated. So up here, is ink storage. These are towers that I purchased from scrapbook.com, and I actually got them on sale. I want to say it was like a Facebook Live sale where I could get 2 for the price of half of one. So I grabbed 4 of them, and then I already had one that I wanted to work with. To get these on the wall, I used some 3M strips. So there are 4 of them on the back. There's like a strip here, 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 and here. And then they're just stuck onto the wall with the 3Ms, which I'm totally doing this again in my next craft room. And then I have them organized where these are all my Alley inks. These are all my paper person inks, which some of them I have pulled out for projects. These are my scrapbook.com. And then I've got like a few Distress Oxides. That's all I have of those. And then I have like the Brilliance White, my Stays On, and this is a VersaFine Nocturne, VersaFine Clair. So a black. And then that's really all I have for inks, except for my scrapbook.com black one that I use all the time. I have somewhere else. So that is, in general, how I am storing my ink. So underneath this, you can see that I've got my typecast typewriter, which I have like the, actually, let's do it this way. That seems like a better plan. Sorry. Okay. So we have typecast typewriter. This, I have nothing in it. I actually just got this from Target like a month ago for the intention of using it in my next room. So for now, I just have it here with nothing in it, but that is going to be used later. And then over here, I've got my thread for my sewing machine, and also any extra ribbons for my typecast typewriter. But all of these are just threads that I would get into when I am using my sewing machine. And then next to it, I have just one project actually 2 projects to make. That's just kind of there for now, because that's just, you know, it is what it is. So in general, this is pretty cleaned off. I don't usually keep a ton of stuff on there. This I just used, so I have to put it back, but you know, that is that. Oh, leave it the best part. No problem. Thanks for being here, Libby. I'm so glad that you were able to come for a little bit. So yes. Okay, let's go to far cubes. And then we'll go up. So up here at the top, I have 2 boxes. I think you can only see one of them. Oh, let's see if I can angle you a bit. There we go. So I have 2 boxes up here. This is a locker shelf, which you can get generally at the beginning of school season, or you can order them from Amazon. But like this pink one I got from Target a couple years ago. And then in the top box, so this is where I keep a lot of like miscellaneous stuff. I think this one just has ephemera and like Christmas cards in it. So that one doesn't really have much of anything. And this one is where I store all of my sequins. In the shelf below that, this is all December daily. So I've got December daily 2018, 2019. This is just a random album that Izzy plays in. Below that, I've got December daily 2020, week in the life 2019, 2020, day in the life 2020. And then below that, we've got, this kind of works. These are all of my One Little Word albums, some blank albums, and then I have Project Life down at the bottom, which are all in black 12 by 12s. You know, I wonder if I can I'm gonna try something. Forgive me here for a second. Let's try this. I wonder if I can just hold this and vlog it. Oh boy. Can you tell I don't do this kind of live stuff very often? Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I still want the light though. Okay, so down there at the bottom, there is my 2020, not 2020, all of my Project Life albums. So they all kind of match. Now, all of the spines I made myself, and I just did those digitally. So now all I have to do is print them off and, you know, they're good to go. Okay, so here's the middle section. So these are all my Our Story albums, which I have a lot because there's like album 1 through 4, volume 1 through 4. And then I've got down here volume 5 and 6 and 7, another one in the back that's just blank right now. So I am working in a lot of those all at once. I only have volume 1 and 2 filmed as a flip through. I think I've got 3 and 4 maybe ready to go. They might be ready. Under those, these are Izzy's and Jonah's. So I have Izzy volume 1 and volume 2. Jonah, volume 1, volume 2. This is nothing, but I'm thinking about making this into a 3x8 story album because, you know, I just like to use all the sizes. So that's that. And then more of the family ones. And these are Mabel's. And then back there, I've got 2 that will be Sylvia's. So I just kind of use as much of this as possible. And then down at the bottom, I have my large, I call it Our Stories XL album. And then I have the current project life. This one is where I store all of my page protectors currently. And then this is some paper storage and some miscellaneous stuff in there. Some of these are just like random pockets to use for projects. I'll show you more of that here in a second as well. But when we go through paper storage, you can know that a lot of it I store right here standing up. All of my little 4x4 albums are here. This is a shelf that I purchased off of Amazon where they fit perfectly underneath and on top. So I can have, you know, 2 tiers of the little albums in there. And I think I might have some back behind there as well that are either blank or just really old. So those are those. And they're so cute. I love the little 4x4s. And then up here is all of my traveler's notebooks. So this is a divided fridge bin that I think Heba is where I originally found this, where she uses this. So back here, if I pull this out, kind of, you can see that I've got a bunch of them here. I have some here, and then I have these ones that are going a different way. All of these ones are ones that I am currently working in. So I just kind of like shift around and pick whatever album seems the best for that project, I suppose. The ones back here are blank, and all of these ones are completed. So eventually, oh, hold on a second. I lost this thing the other day. Sorry. I lost this the other day. This was part of my drawing. There it is. Anyway, that is my traveler's notebook storage. So it helps me. And then when I'm trying to pull something out to work in, like this one is a new story album I'm working in. This one, I have 1 more page to go and then it's completed. This is my current pocket page notebook. This is one that I'm working in for the shows that we're watching. This one is one that I think I have a couple more pages left in. You know, this one I think I have 1 more page left in. So it's just like random, kind of random. So that's that. Okay, let's go to this short one. So this is my 2 cube. Boop, boop. Right here is where you can see my projects to work on. So typically when I'm doing lives, I have my projects ready to go. And so I can just pull them out of this bin and work on them, which I haven't done in a while. So this is kind of stockpiled in there. And then I have my little sewing machine right next to it. The sewing machine itself is like 12 inches maybe long. It's very, very tiny. So it works because I stand like literally right here. So all I have to do is bend down and grab it and pull it up here and use it, which makes it much more used in my projects. Down below that, I have this metal basket where I keep all my cords for the sewing machine and an extension cord and all that kind of stuff. And then under that, you can see this plastic bin is where all of my numbers are stored, which I generally use for October daily and December daily. And then right here is more of that paper storage, which we'll get into that. Maybe I'll probably put you top down on my desk to show you that part so that we're not shaking all over the place. And then right here leaning up against the edge is where I've got my really big photo paper. I have a stool that I stand on, my stamping mat. the scoring board, and my trimmer. So all of it is right there within reach. On top of my cubes, and this is a hack, and I'll show you this in my wardrobe as well. This is a metal cube that I made myself. So you can buy these metal cubes, and they come with corner pieces to help you build different shapes with them. For me, I hacked this by zip tying them together. So if you go in real close, you can see that they're actually zip tied. This I did to create extra shelves because I just didn't have enough space. Or it helped me, I needed more space for some things, and also I had extra shelves, so why not? So inside here, I've got all of my washi is in this box. These are some more of my trays that I use sometimes. This is like die cuts that I can just pick through. And then I have a little tray that's got all of my punches and my blending brushes. I think that's pretty much it that's in there. So it just gives me some more room for adding stuff. And then on top, which is now like counter height, right? I can type on that. So this is at the same height for me, is where I keep my 6-hole punch, all of these pieces for cleaning stamps. And then I have this 2-tiered thing where I've got glue and my 1-inch circle punch there. And this is where that black ink goes because I use it, you know, every day. And then my twines and corner punch. And then this stuff is just needs to be put away. But, you know, that keeps it pretty nice and organized for me. For my alpha stickers, I don't have a ton of alpha stickers, and I actually want to even purge some that I do have. I have a hook on my wall, which I just put in like some, oh gosh, what are those called? Anchors, like drywall anchors. Put my hook in there, and then all of my alphas are stored on a ring that I can then just flip through to find what I need. So I can reach over there, grab it off the ring, get what I need, and then throw it back over. So it makes it really easy and accessible for me. That I will also totally be doing again, is putting it all on a hook. And then the last thing on this wall, I have these 2 like hexagon shelves that are, I think they're really meant for like plants and stuff, and maybe I'll do that when I go to the next place. But this is where I have all of my 1/8 inch score tape and my 1/4 inch score tape. So it's just easy to find. Easy to find. Okay, so we'll turn this way and I'll show you my desk area next. Let me see if I got any questions from you guys. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Here is desk. So you can see back there, I've got 2 umbrella lights. I have a ring light, which I don't always use. I only use my ring light for facing, like when you see my face. Otherwise, I have that turned off. My umbrella lights, Michelle, I know you were asking a question. Let me see if I can come over here and give you a closer look. My umbrella lights are down very close to my desk. And you can see my mount for my phone is higher than my umbrella lights. And the reason for that is because when the light shoots underneath this, it takes away any shadow. So you won't see any shadow of the arm. And you also generally won't see a shadow of me either. If the lights were up above, it would cast a shadow down onto the desk. So that's why they are really, really low to my desk. So hopefully that answers your question on the lights. So we've got lights. We've got my stand for my phone, which is actually a microphone stand with a couple of added pieces that make it compatible for holding my phone. I will actually be getting a different mount when I move. I'm going to do one that mounts to the ceiling instead. That way I don't have to have all of that underneath my table, where it can just be on my desk and much easier to work with. So on my desk, I have the board that I told you about. And then I've got my cutting mat there in the middle. Back here, this is something I'm always reaching in, but you guys can't necessarily see it in my videos. This is it's a 4-compartment wood separator that I got from Target. So all I have in here are tiny phrase stickers, labels, and then random chipboard and tags. So a lot of times when I'm reaching for those, which I do all the time, that is where I can go, and grab those from. On my left-hand side is where I have all of my tools that I'm using all the time. So I've got right now I just have a mason jar that holds all of my scissors. This piece right here I had a company who sent that to me and had me do a review of it maybe a year and a half ago. And I really like it and I still use it. I actually saw the exact same thing at Target recently in the dollar aisle for like $3, which is a steal because I know this was more expensive than that, what they were selling it for. But it's a divided compartment and I'll show you that here when we go top down as well. And then in the very back, I have this large, actually it's a medium size plastic bin that holds my little trimmer, my ruler. I have a mason jar with a bunch of refills for my roller tape, my larger inks that don't fit anywhere, and then just anything that's kind of a bigger thing, like all of my planning sheets. That's all back there. Underneath my table, I have those 2 carts. You can kind of see how they fit there side by side. One of them is not anything. This one over here. This actually used to be my homeschool cart that was upstairs. I moved it down here, but I haven't it wasn't worth it to me to organize it until I moved. So it just has a bunch of junk in it right now. I'll show you something fun though. Let me pull this out. I did recently at Target find this. If I can get all this stuff off. So I recently at Target found this, which is the exact same size as my hexagons up there. So now I can have 3 hexagons, one that's got shelves in it, and the other 2 that are pockets, which is pretty cool. So yeah, everything in here is just unorganized. It has no home, so it went in there. But this other one is a lot better. Okay, so this one I got from Michael's, and I love it because it has the top on it. Because my table is not very big, I don't have a ton of space to work with. I generally roll this to the side, and this gives me another surface that I can use to place stuff on when I need to. But then the top comes off, and underneath there's organizational stuff set up. So in here, let's show you guys in here. This is all of my embellishments. So I've got chipboard, circles, half circles are here. Chipboard, what are these called? Rectangles? Yeah, rectangles, rectangles, banners, all of that kind of stuff is in here. These are all little tiny phrase chipboard. These are Tim Holtz metal pieces that are just random, random stuff. These are all oval chipboard. These are all squares or tags, or I just call this kind of large shapes, I suppose. And then this one is all hearts. So that's all mostly chipboard is in here except for these metal pieces. In here is all of my puffy stickers, except for these. I have these pulled aside to do stories with them later. But these are all puffy stickers in here. I don't really reach for these as much anymore. Every once in a while I do, but they just all go in there. And then this is rubber for the most part, except I got those recently. I haven't used them yet. But everything else in this little box is rubber or pleather. And then everything in here is felt or plastic or canvas, all that kind of stuff. So the more textured is what I would call it, embellishments go in these 2 boxes. So that just helps me keep everything in a place. And I will say that this is all of the extra chipboard I have. I use up pretty much everything. So I don't have a ton to store, which for me is a good thing. I like that. Okay, bottom shelf or middle shelf, we've got a foil quill that I have not used yet. I got that for Christmas and I just haven't had a chance to get it out and use it yet, but I will for sure come December daily time, and maybe even for October daily, I'll do that. These 3 boxes are from Allie Edwards. They were part of the Storytelling Basics collection. This is where I store all of my cards. So I've got one that is specifically for Storytelling Basics. I have one that is for Feed Your Craft. Oh, you know what? I just fixed it. Okay, sorry. I just realized that my hand was over the mic. Okay, so we've got Storytelling Basics. We've got Feed Your Craft and Paper Person, and we have other Allie Edwards. So this is all of my cards. And then this right here is one of those divided containers from scrapbook.com, and everything that's in here is the Paige Evans Wonders collection. It's the one that she just did, which I need to purge a lot of this because I'm not going to use it. I will, but some things, but most I won't. And then on the bottom here, this is a container that I store all of my empty zippered pockets. So I can just go through that when I'm working on project planning. And then this is another divided container that I have all of the supplies for making my zoo album for this year. So that way I can just pull it out and make it whenever I feel like it. So that is pretty much my only organized rolling cart. The other one is, you know, it will be later. It'll be organized later. So that is that. And then I will also show you over here my wardrobe. My wardrobe is probably my most favorite organizational thing. This, and you know what, oh gosh, I'm so sorry for all this darn shaking. Okay. I want to be able to see you guys if you say anything. Okay, so this wardrobe came from IKEA. It is a children's clothing wardrobe that I converted into a craft closet. So up on top right now, I have stuff that I need to put away. So we're going to ignore that. But inside, we are all nice and organized in here. So there is kind of like the outside look at the inside of this thing. So one of the things you'll notice is that I've got those wire cubes set up in here that allow me to have extra room for placing things. And I also have a hack for those in this shelf unit as well. Up here at the top, this was the original shelf that goes at the top. And then there should have been, you see those like white things on the ends? That was supposed to be a bar to hang clothes. And then this would have gone like way down. But instead I spaced them out a little bit more and I took the bar off. So I've got another divided container. This is all of my one little word. And the nice thing with this is, again, I can just pull that out and work on that project when I'm ready for it. This is my tool bin. So that's where I put like my my hot glue gun and my fuse tool and my drawing, what is that called? Like the drying gun that you use for embossing, you know, that goes in there. I have a laminator up here. This is like a kitchen shelf that I put in here to give me extra space, because one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to organizing is not having to move stuff out in order to get to what's under it. Like I hate having to having workarounds for how to get stuff out. So by having shelves, all I can do now, so this is all mixed media, is just pull the mixed media out and work on it when I'm ready. So that's my mixed media bin, which there isn't a lot in there, but you know, I don't really do a lot of mixed media. Some of it I'd like to do more of, but you know, it is what it is. And then below that, I've got, let me get down here. Okay, I've got one of these cubes, right? So inside of the cube, you can see that there is another piece of metal here that I have zip tied to the sides. This gives me a shelf inside of the cube. So now if I want to get into my acrylic pieces and my wood veneer, which are in these two, I can pull those out without having to take these out. So it just makes everything more accessible. On top of that is my stamp storage. So this was something a lot of you guys asked me about. I store my stamps upright inside of these medium bathroom bins from Target. I have them labeled on the front with the manufacturer, and then they are in alphabetical order inside of the bin. And then right now they're all stored in the Avery L stamp pouch bags with a piece of cardstock inside as well. So I've got one for my Allie Edwards like story kits. I have one for all of my feature craft. Down below, you'll see here in a little bit my stories by the month bin. I have a bin for numbers, alphas, and dates. And then up here on top, I have all other designers. So anything else, if it's Everyday Explorers, if it's Studio Calico, like whatever it is, it goes in there. This bin right here is a felt bin. This was a bunch of felt that I ordered last year for December Daily. And it's all in there where I can see all the different colors, and I will definitely be getting that out again this year. Next to that is another one of those locker shelves, which is perfect because it allows me to put these one on top of the other. So I have a tiered thing for day in the life, and below that I have a tiered thing for week in the life. So when I actually go to work on that project, I'll just pull that out and work on it. And then on the very bottom, so you can see there's another shelf here, I have one more of those cubes, again with the hack middle shelf. Those are my two other bins for stamps, so stories by the month, alphas, numbers, and dates. Below that, I have a box. It's a 12 by 12 box. It actually might be 13 by 13. I think it's 12 by 12. And inside of that is where I keep all of my page protectors. So when I need a new page protector, I can just grab that bin, get out what I need. Next to that, I have a large bin. So it's the same brand, but it's the large one. And this is where I have all of my 6 by 8 stamps, as well as my brads and my snaps and my, I can never think of what these are called. I know what they're called, but I forget. The little pieces that go on tags. You guys will be able to tell me what those are. So this bin is in here on top of another kitchen organizing shelf. Under that is a box full of ribbons and twine, which I can pull out when I need it. And then this little shelf here has some miscellaneous kits. So I've got like the read story kit or read book reading. There was a reading kit. Eyelets. Yes. Thank you, Elizabeth. I can never, ever, ever remember that. Anyway, so I have a couple things in here to just use at some point. But I used to put my blank traveler's notebooks there, but I moved those fairly recently. Okay, so that is the craft cabinet. Oh, and this is just extra Paige Evans stuff, which again, I need to purge because I don't know if I'm going to use it because, you know, we just can't use everything, right? Okay. So that is like the grand tour. I'm going to put you back over on my stand here so we're not shaking anymore. And I'll show you up close anything that you want to see up close, which we'll do pattern papers I'll show you. And then if there's anything you guys want a clearer look at, then you just let me know. And I'll see it in the comments and I'll pull it out. So let me adjust back here. Yay for no more shaking. Okay, so let me put this stuff back. So see how this is that, we'll start here. This is that divided thing that I have at the top of my table. So like this little square right here is all of my tiny phrase stickers, which I generally store by color, like in rainbow order, but they're kind of out of order right now. And then I've got my label stickers, which are all also kind of rainbow order. Behind that, I have my Tim Holtz ones. And then I also have some like bags that I can use for any random project. And then over here, I've got all of my tags in case I need a tag. Or I've got random like full sheets of chipboard that I haven't broken up and put in anywhere else. So, or like these types of things like die cut packs that I haven't opened yet. So all of that is in this little thing, and that's at the top of my desk. So anytime in my video that you see me like doing this kind of a thing, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting this stuff out. Yes. So let me see what else. Paper. Let me show you how I store my paper. So I store my paper inside of pockets. These are 13 by 13 plastic pockets that I get from, these ones specifically are from Hobby Lobby, which are nice because they, see if I can show you this here a little bit close. They widen at the bottom. So as they fill up, this can get fatter and it fits more stuff. Whereas the scrapbook.com ones are literally an envelope, so they don't have any way of expanding at the bottom. So the ones that expand are the ones I like for paper storage. I have one that is all pattern papers. So this is all of the pattern paper. Well, it's technically not all of it, but it's most of the pattern paper, and definitely all of the pattern paper that I love is all in here. And in this, I store it in rainbow order. So there's no like dividers or anything. I just know for me that we're going to start with white, and then we're going to go to pink, and then we're going to have red, and then we're going to have yellow. Like, so they're just in here, all of the scraps included. Like here's a smaller piece of one. So when I'm going through to look for, like there's a paper person one that I didn't use. When I'm looking for a certain color, because it's generally how I decide on my papers, then it gives me a quick way to find them, you know, just based on the color. Or in the back, I've got all of my rainbow, like this one's literally a rainbow, but rainbow papers are in the back so that I know, you know, that one doesn't actually have a real true color, like it's all the colors. And black is towards the back as well. So that is how I store all of my 12 by 12 pattern papers. I also have some that are set up for the same pockets that are set up for colors. So this one has like brown and yellow and green. Actually, I think it's red, orange, yellow, and green is in this one. So red, orange, yellow, green. And then I've got black. So this one only has black. Here's the other half. So the blue, purple, pink, and miscellaneous like browns and all of that is in here. And then I have one that is only white. So white, black, red through green, blue through the rest, and then pattern papers. And it's nice to have them kind of, you know, all in their own sectioned pockets, because then I can just grab out whichever one I know I need. So like I know I'm gonna use a white for something, all I have to do is grab the white out, or black, or whatever it is. So that is my 12 by 12 papers. Then I also have some stored, like this is stuff that I've painted that I can look through if I want something mixed media. And then this one is one that is a paper person kit that I shamefully have not even used at all, because back then I wasn't doing the story planning for it. So this is something maybe I'll pull this out at the beginning of the year, since it's kind of Valentine's themed, but that's just a kit I haven't used. So let's put those back. And then let me show you. Let's grab this one. And where are you? These ones. Yep. And this. Okay, so I have a couple more paper storage. So one of them, this is where I store all of my traveler's notebook sized papers, or anything that was specific to a traveler's notebook. So this is like the 4x8, and I store it in one of the Allie Edwards larger pockets. This I think was a one little word. For specialty papers, I store those by themselves in one of those envelopes. So this is where all of my transparency or plastic acetate, and where all of my vellum papers, patterned papers, go. So all of that is inside of this, as well as if I order any like dividers, because because a lot of times I like to order these just to use for projects. Those I have in this specialty paper as well. And then I have one, come on here. I have one that is also set up for only textured paper, which is not this one. It's actually a different one. This one is all chipboard. So if I ever want to make my own homemade chipboard, I have all of that stored in a pocket right here. And I do have one more in there somewhere that has anything that's got a texture to it. So if it's like canvas, or if it's burlap, or like corrugated board, is that's called, like cardboard, you know, that kind of stuff is all stored in one of these pockets as well. The last thing that I have stored in these upright, in those two sections that I showed you, are collections. So if I have a collection of, you know, like Paige Evans, or I have a collection of a Pink Fresh line, then I store all of the pieces that I can fit in one of these pockets together. So this one is the Wonders, which there's a lot of it here, and that's because I was on the cut file team for Paige Evans, and she sent us everything in the entire collection, which is way more than I would ever use. So I have a ton of it left that I need to figure out what do I love and what don't I love, and you know, purge from there. So that is paper storage, and I hope that that helps with that. Let me show you the Ali Edwards boxes. Yes. Wait, what is this? Do you get rid of cards, paper, things you don't like or think you won't use right away? Elizabeth, sometimes. Most of the time, I will try to use it if I can. It's very rare that I don't like things, but let's say, like Paige Evans line, I'm not crazy about the Wonders collection. It's not my favorite, so I haven't felt super inspired to use it, so I will get rid of a bunch of it. I kept it all for like a period of time because I was on her team, so I needed to use her line inside of her cut files. But now that the team has been dissolved, I'm gonna get rid of most of it because I'm just not gonna use it. Most of the time, cards I will keep in use. I very rarely get rid of cards, especially the card. I guess particularly for the card brands that I like, so like Ali Edwards and Futurecraft and the Paper Person stuff. So the ones that are in here, I rarely get rid of them. Embellishments sometimes is a different story depending on what they say. So like if it says something like carpool, we don't carpool to anything, and likely won't carpool to anything for years. So I will let go of that embellishment because I don't need to hold on to it for 5 years. So stuff like that I will go ahead and get rid of. Okay, so these are the boxes from Ali. I have 3 of them, right? So we've got Storytelling Basics, Futurecraft, Paper Person, and Ali Edwards. So this one right here is where I put any cards that I did not use from a Stories by the Month kit or from a story kit. So anything that I have not used once I project planned it. So this is only the leftovers. So inside of this, there is a section for 4x6 and there is a section for 3x4. Now, actually I did go ahead and plan everything out. So you can see there's not a lot. So like my 4x6 collection is 5 cards. It's not very much. I mostly use all of my Ali stuff. And then the 3x4s, there's quite a bit more in here, but there's, you know, when I'm looking for a card to go with whatever I'm making, this is where I can pull those out of. So, you know, those are both in there. Now, it's a different story for the other 2 boxes. Like this one, the Storytelling Basics, is a bit fuller because, you know, there was a lot that came in this. So I have a bunch of these left over, which I will eventually probably compile everything together, all of my Ali stuff. And then I've got a few of these left. The reason I hadn't done that yet is because I knew I wanted to specifically use a lot of this product in my 2018 Project Life album. So once that album is done, then there's no need to keep everything separated anymore. I can just put everything together. It will be fine. So then I can have one that's for Allie Edwards, and then I can have one that's maybe Future Craft and one that's Paper Person. It helps me to know the manufacturer. That helps me to better identify the type of cards and the type of sentiments that I'm looking for is based on that. So then this is the last one, which is my Future Craft Paper Person one. And this one is by far the most full because I have some older Future Craft kits that I never used. Future Craft, I really like to work with their digital kits. I feel like I get more use out of the digitals than out of the physicals. So I have a lot of the cards left because I used them digitally. So I never actually got to them in the physical form. And then here I'm like almost stuffed with the 3x4s. Like I don't have very much room left in here, and there's a bunch. So this I will very likely go through and purge probably at the beginning of the year to see if there's anything I'm not going to use, and then to just get rid of it because there's really no need to hold on to stuff that you're not going to use. And definitely not that you're not going to use like in the next 12 months because, you know, new stuff comes out all the time. There'll always be more. Okay, so that is my cards, my card storage. Do I have any that I have not planned? Yes. And I can show you that too. I'll have to run and grab it because that's actually in my storage room, just because it's one of those things that like I don't really need to get into it, but I wasn't ready to pack it quite yet. I can show you, I'll show you this real quick too. So as we get into October daily and December daily season, this is where I store all of my numbers, and they are stored in sections of 2. So like this is all of my 1s and 2s, 3s and 4s, 5s and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way up to 31. And then this is everything after 31 if there are, or no, this is up to 25. And then the rest of them are divided into these 2 because for the most part, like December daily, I only go up to the 25th. So these are the main numbers that I reach for. But these generally come in the kits as well for a lot of people who go up to 31, or this gives me options when I'm working with October daily where I do go up to 31. I actually go up to November 2nd for Dia de los Muertos, but you know, you get the idea. So that's number storage. And in case you're looking for something for your desk to help store some things, this is the little container that I saw at Target recently. It might still be there. The difference for theirs is that these are not, you can see that these are like little tiny squares, which is not my favorite. I wish that this was a empty box. I feel like I would get more use out of it if it was empty, but it's not. So I do what I can. The one at Target is empty in the middle. It's like 3 sections and then there's a bottom spot. So I like to put all of my roller date stamps here, my roller adhesive here. This is like all the stuff you would go and grab. I've got erasers, I've got a blender thing, this is where I store my needle, some extra acrylics, some extra wood veneer, my extra staples, and then this is where all of my acrylic blocks are. They're just right here ready for me to use them, except for the really large one I have in a bigger bin. But the cool thing is this separates and there's a spot underneath. So under I've got a bunch of the blending things. I've got all of my these things, my tabs from Avery. I think they're Avery tabs. And then I have a bunch of these as well, which I haven't used yet, but I will be using those soon, especially when we get to the next couple of months here. So it's really cool that there's like a lot of space to hold different things, which is cool. So if you are a Target shopper and you're ever going through the dollar aisle, keep your eye out for these things. They're really, really nice. So that is that. What else? Was there anything else that I'm gonna go grab? I'm gonna go grab my unopened Story Kit bin. Let me go grab that. And then while I do that, leave me a comment if there's anything else that you are specifically looking for ideas for, and I'll pull mine out if we haven't already. So let me know. I'll be right back with this box. Okay, here we go. This is my unopened Story Kit box, which there is a lot in here, so prepare yourself. Some of them have been opened, they just haven't been crushed. So my uncrushed Story Kit box, and there's a lot. Which there is a reason there is a lot, and I'll explain that here in a second. But this is where I store all of my story kits that I have yet to work through. And some of the they weren't story kits, but like the releases. So like here is my ups and downs collection from 2020, those types of things. So when they are not yet opened, I don't put anything into my stash because I generally like to use everything that goes together since it was made to be cohesive. So I don't like go in and put chipboard here and do that. I wait until after I've crushed the kit, and anything left over gets put into my storage. Some of these have these divided containers, which I used to have a lot more. I don't know where they all went, and I probably need to grab some more of them because I like using them. These are little jewelry boxes that you can use to divide out different things. So a lot of times when I'm working with a kit, I will divide things out in this way to work through it, to be able to see it a little bit better as I'm working through it. So I have all of my kits are labeled. Starting, the oldest one I have in here is Pieces, which is from 2019. That is my oldest kit. My most current kit that I have in here is Action, which I believe was January this year, right? Yes, this would have been January of 2021. So this is the only kit from 2021 that I have not crushed because at that time I was working through older kits and not newer kits. Marcy, the jewelry boxes are on Amazon. I think in my video descriptions, I have a link to an Amazon shop. So like if you go, I think it's like my favorites, there's an Amazon storefront. And most everything, I don't know if everything's in there, but a lot of things I have in there, and I'm pretty darn sure that the little jewelry boxes are in there. They come in a set of 6, so you get 6 of them at a time. So yes, some of these things. So like I have the joy cards, but I only have the 3x4 joy cards because I think I got those during a Stories Revisited sale. So let's talk about why do I have so many unopened story kits, because it's a funny story, I think. Back in 2020, the beginning of 2020, when Tashi and I decided to do Story Kit Crush, I had only been a subscriber to Story Kits since August. So I had August, September, October, November, December. I had a total of 5 kits, and I actually had already crushed 2 of them. So I only, before Story Kit Crush ever existed, I had crushed 2. So I had 3 left that I was able to crush. So what I did, and Tashi had been a subscriber for much, much longer than me. So she had a whole basket already that looked like this, and I had 3. So during a Stories Revisited sale, I just kind of bought them all. Like any story kit that was available, I got it. So all at once, I had a bin that looked like this created. And what happened as we were doing Story Kit Crush is we were always working on the older kits which meant my new kits, I would make like one project with it and then it would go in this bin. So most of this is all the new stuff, like all from 2020, where it's practically untouched. And that really irked me because we were getting the new stuff in the mail and I wanted to use it because it was new and exciting. So that's where I started crushing the newer kits instead of the older kits. Now my goal for once my studio is set back up is to do 2 at once. So I can do an old one and a new one and get this all gone. Like I would like this weighs heavily on my shoulders that I have this gem in my back room, but that's okay. It's lots of stories just waiting to be told, and we're gonna get there. So this is gonna be something we'll work on through Patreon, and some of it I'll do on YouTube as well, but to clear this out and to crush some of these kits as well. So fun stuff. But yeah, this is where everything goes until I crush it, and then after I crush it, anything that is left goes into my stash. So that is that. All right, let me see if you guys had anything else. What are you excited about in your new craft room? So here, I'm excited about a lot of things. One thing that I am most excited about, I think I will, actually, I'm pretty sure I don't have anything else to share with you. I think everything is shared at this point. If you guys think of any other things, like if we get off of this and you're like, oh shoot, I wanted to see blank, you can just let me know and I'll take a picture of it and I'll share it. Okay, so things I'm most excited about are I'm getting a huge craft table. It's a hand-me-down and I am over the moon excited about it. So my current table is a 2x4. My new table is a 5x6. So it's going to be like massive. And what's cool about that is I can, and I'm excited about ceiling mounting my camera so that it's not like all up in my space. So the reason the big table is cool is because the entire underneath is storage. So I'm going to actually put some of my cube storage that's here by my side underneath the table. So it creates cube storage like sideways in like underneath. I'm excited that this table is not only huge, but it's also skirted. So you won't be able to see anything underneath unless I have the curtains pulled, which just makes my heart so happy to not have things visible. I like things to be hidden. So I'm excited about that. I am excited about having my own space because, you know, like Aaron sits right there normally. And when we're working, so during the day, he's typically working and I'm working and I'll have to be like, hey, can you like mute yourself for a minute so I can do an intro for a video? And then he'll be like, hey, I have a meeting. Can you like go upstairs so you're not in the video? Like, we're just like constantly trying to like alter our schedules around each other. And so he'll have his own office and I will have my own office and we won't have to worry about that anymore. It'll just be like, we'll meet up for lunch during the day and then we'll go to our separate spaces and do our thing. So I'm like, oh God, I'm so excited about that. Also, being able to have multiple cameras. So my plan is to have a top-down camera, a facing camera, and then to have a camera at like right now my desk. I have, you know, like a screen share option and a camera that you can see me as I'm screen sharing. That's going to stay, but everything is going to be rigged together. So my computer will become the central hub of like which view you see, which is awesome because that means that in one video, we could be looking at my desk, we could be looking at me, we could be looking at the computer screen, and we could still be looking at me at the computer screen. So it allows me to have tons of functionality in that sense. And one other thing that it allows me to do that I'm really excited about is having like a dual like craft along with me. So if any of you were at the December daily prep party last year where Tashi and I were like side by side, crafting, it gives me the opportunity to do that with guests. So then I can say like, you know, hey, Yessie, how do you feel about scrapping with me today? Or, you know, like, and if you're not comfortable with that, you're not comfortable with that. But like I want my sister-in-law to come on here with me, my sister to come on here with me, and any of you guys that are like, hey, I would scrapbook with you, where we can just like have a conversation. We're live, so, you know, you guys can all watch us be live and chat and have a good time. And see both of our desks as we're working, you know, so it allows me to have that functionality to have guest crafters with me during a live. So that's really cool. I don't know at what point that's going to be, like, I'm going to have that set up because I have to figure it all out. And, you know, there's a lot of IT stuff to figure out with that. But once I do, that's like crazy cool. I'm so excited for something like that. Yeah, you, Yessie. Yes. No. if you're up to it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm most excited about for having a new space. That, and of course, like, making it my own, right? Like, I'm so excited. I'm going to build a desk into my closet and make that look really cool. Yeah, just to have a place that I can say is mine, you know, and not mine and Aaron's and the kids, because right now that's what this is. But to have it just be mine is really, really exciting. So anywho, that is that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the grand tour. Before everything is going to be different, because it will be different. I will definitely take you along for the ride on putting together the new place. You guys I'll keep you updated on how that goes. It looks like we're going to be able to move in about 2 weeks, which is 2 weeks earlier than we expected, which is very exciting, actually. I'm very excited about that. It's just going to be mass chaos for a while, but that's okay. We're going to get there. So yeah, that is that. All right, friends. Well, this has been a very long hour and a half together. I thank you for those of you who are still with me, and you know, anybody who watches afterwards the replay, thank you for sticking around. That's going to be that. So I'm going to be back tomorrow night, my time, at 7:30. You'll see a post come up. I think I have one scheduled. That'll have the link and everything in it for tomorrow's live, and then that will be it for this week. So I think there'll be Project Life spread and a live tomorrow, and then we'll be back again Monday next week. So I will either see you tomorrow night, or I will see you guys next week. So yes, thanks for joining in today and having some fun with me. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys later.